Second race of the day, first race for the Super Sport 600s, and we've got a 12-lap race here at Manfield, 12-lap race for today, and ready for a start. John Ross on pole position, Jaden Carrick sitting there in second, Al Hugenbosom, Adam Chambers. So 3 Suzukis, then a Honda on the front. Look at that flying machine of Toby Summers. Toby Summers led into the first corner yesterday here at Manfield Park in the race, and he said, I was just talking to him 10 minutes before the start of this race and saying, well, what happened there? You know, you were sort of faded off to about 5th or 6th. He said, look, I just maintained the same lap times all the way through, but everyone else got quicker. So right there, the big mover there was Adam Chambers going up on the inside of Alistair Hugenbosom. It might even be James Hugenbosom. We can't quite pick the colours at the moment. We'll have to wait maybe till they get up to the centre straight, but right out in the front, not having it all his own way, John Ross, the current New Zealand Championship points leader, and we're joined by Scott Kinder and Neil Ritchie in the commentators box at the moment for the 600 Super Sports. Neil Ritchie, you saw the racing from pitside last weekend at Taupo, and yeah.
Oh, exceptional, Spider, and morning everybody, nice to have you with us. The early bird catches it. Wow, 3 days of racing at Manfield, have not seen that in a long time. Just remind us of the glory days of sports, the likes of the Shell 2-wheeler or Castrol 6-hour, or of course World Superbike campaigns where we had so much going on. So great to be here, and already a good lot of spectators in. Good morning everybody, and yes indeed, watching this race, and Al Hugenbosom definitely the star for me at Taupo last weekend, and his exceptional run, and in particular reminding me so much of a young Andrew Stroud in the way that he was riding, the way that he was just so educated, so calculated, and the way that he thought about his lines, and the way he spent 2 good laps in trying to find the right place to do the overtaking manoeuvre and then could execute it. This man, folks, is on his way to much better results. 33 points behind in the championship at the moment, but away to a nice start. Nice to be joined today by Scott Kinder. Scott, first of all, welcome back to the North Island. How's your week up here been?
Yeah, no, it's been really good. Just had a nice relaxing week between Taupo and Manfield, so can't complain at all, really. Start of this race here looked good. Shame with Al Hugie, he got a bit of a bad start there, couldn't quite keep the front wheel on the ground, so he's back now in 5th, 6th place at the moment, just behind brother James. So.
Yes, those are the hard colours to pick up, but I did notice there that Al is down there in behind his brother James, so top work for James. It is John Ross. Got a bit of a lead out there in the front, probably 60 or 70 metres. Toby Summers on the R&R Power Sports machine is indeed the fastest man on the track. In fact, he's over half a second quicker than John Ross. A flyer, he wants to make up for his, well, he says it's a poor finish yesterday, about 5th place, but it's still, anybody on this bloody place out here, it's awesome. But the Hugenbosoms are moving through there. The Hugenbosoms are moving through there on Jaden Carrick, the man who couldn't do the Taupo round. He led some races down at Timaru, and absolutely awesome racing. We're going over to, I think Neil was saying something there. Jump start for bike number 50 and 41. That's Rhys Holmes and Mark Bennett. So Rhys Holmes jump start and Mark Bennett. So out to the front there, coming out of the hairpin, it is still John Ross. But I'll tell you who's now the fastest man on the track is Adam Chambers on the Wolfpack Racing Honda CBR 600. Put a 1:08.508. So he's coming through from 3rd place. So battle out there, and it looks to me like James Hugenbosom's got over and above Jaden Carrick. As I say that, Jaden Carrick takes a tight line into Higgins and has made that one stick. Pretty sure it's Jaden Carrick. Yes, indeed, on the Greg Brodie tile Suzuki GSXR 600, number 55. Jaden Carrick has got through there, but it is still John Ross coming onto the front straight with Toby Summers, maybe 6 or 7 bike lengths in between 1st and 2nd.
Well, in fact, as we saw then, it was the fight that we were looking at for young Alistair, and an awesome ride from him. And there he goes at the moment. So we can see Alistair, first of all, he overtook James on Toyota a lap ago, and then going down the straight as well, had a better run to have moved up there into 5th place, sorry. So he's taken one, which has been a good move for him. But look at those top 3 now, having a nice little breakaway tucked in there, and then the gap back for the rest as we look out for Wanganui Flyer in there and Jaden Carrick. So good work by Jaden. Scott, anything to stand out for you? In fact, what are you thinking like? It's now been 3 years since we've had national road racing here at Manfield. Has there been a little bit of reaccustomation for riders to do to get themselves familiar again with the track?
Oh, for sure, you know, like not many of these riders have really ridden many laps around here, I guess, and Tri-Series would have been really good for them to get some practice time in before nationals, so it's a really good showing. Really impressed with Toby at the moment because he's down on horsepower at this track. This track's mainly the horsepower track, so he's doing a really good job there, sticking in behind John.
One thing I've got to say about the changing face of motorcycling, well, we normally hear about suspension options, and it's usually Öhlins, and occasional K-Tech out there, but the front 2 bike there, John Ross is running an Italian product called Bitubo. I was calling it Bitubo yesterday, but it is Bitubo, and that's an Italian product, and he's out there winning on it, and the same suspension setup or branding in the 77 R&R Power Sports sponsored machine of Toby Summers. So Bitubo there, Adam Chambers, I'm not sure what he's on at the moment, and we go back into Jeremy Holmes, who's currently 7th on the track. He is also running Bitubo. So if you're looking out for suspension options and seeing all the usual factors and usual ones, you may want to have a look at this. So talk to young Aidan down in the pits there, or contact him through Restoration. That's his product there. So John Ross out in the front has now set the fastest lap time with a 1:08.258. Toby Summers is not giving up here, and in third place it's Adam Chambers, with the dice is all on further down, Neil.
But certainly it is, and look at that, it's Al Hugenboozem, folks, that's made the move, and this is what he's done. He had a disappointing start, he was well back, he's now overtaken 3 riders through this race at the moment, and they include Jeremy Holmes, his brother James, and now Jaden Carrick, and now he's broken clear of Jaden. He's starting to gain on the tail of the others, so watch out for it. Here we go. So we've got a 3x1x3 in here at the moment, and the one in the middle is Alistair Hugenboozem, the one to watch. And look at that, although we had Toby Summers out riding it, beautiful run to come through Pepsi Max and down to Toyota, and can he still hold it? Yes, he will. It was John Ross that just showed his nose on that occasion, so some good riding for the first. Oh no, look at that, has to overshoot, does the little overshoot, no problem though for him, and that's allowed John Ross to get back up on the inside, and all of a sudden for that, looking at Adam Chambers back on the inside, no, can't quite do it, and Adam Chambers, what a ride indeed, and as Spider as well picked up, certainly a fantastic performance from Adam out there. But the one to keep your eyes on, folks, will be back in 4th place. We watched this at Taupo in particular last week, but he comes here with a lack of experience. In fact, you look at all of those top riders, and other than Adam Chambers out of Hawke's Bay, that's probably done more than the others in the world of Manfield racing. We're refamiliarising ourselves again after a 3-year absence. In fact, the last event here was Manawatu Orion from their heyday. They had a resurrection in conjunction with their centenary year and ran the road racing here back in 2011. So beautiful to be back in Manfield, and I hope the local motorcycle fans really enjoying this. Our big magnificent 3-day festival of motorcycling in this final round of Bridgestone racing. And Scott, do you think Al Hugenboozem can do anything from there, or is he too far back on these front 3?
Well, you know, Al's got the grit and determination to definitely catch these front 3 here, but as we watch the front 3, no one can make a move going into turn 1 because we've got a faller from the previous lap, but already you can see probably from the lap time too that Alistair's gaining quite significantly on these front 3 at the moment. So give it another 3 or 4 laps and you should be right on the back of Adam and then planning some moves.
All right, so back onto the track, and I'll tell you, or not even onto the track at the moment, we'll look at the point situation. John Ross has got 33 points over and above Alistair Hugenboozem, but right now Al Hugenboozem sitting in 4th spot with Toby Summers in 2nd on the track, with Adam Chambers trying to come through there. There is Al Hugenboozem leads Summers by just 5 points, So the fact is, there's a bike there in between them. This is going to change the battle for the 2nd of the New Zealand Superbike Championship Supersport class. So Al Hugenboozem showed us he has the class, has the ability. He's won 3 out of the last 4 races, and with Toby Summers winning the other of those 4 races. But right now, and Toby Summers has slipped down into 3rd place, so 5 points between them, and this could be the game changer here. But John Ross comes onto the front straight. We didn't quite catch who was that crasher at the end of the front straight, but they're up and all right. So it is John Ross, Adam Chambers, and the Yamaha of Toby Summers. So Suzuki, Honda and Yamaha. It's great to have that mix. Same, we haven't got young Seth Devereaux on the Kawasaki because he's got the ability. Seth Devereaux unfortunately breaking his neck in a motocross accident. He is okay. He's all right. He's but out for the road racing. Hugenboozem's moving up there. I think Hugenboozem might be able to come back there. We've got 5 laps left of the 12-lap race. Neil.
Yeah, great to watch indeed, and amazing to think that, of course, just a lap and a quarter ago, we had Toby Summers with his bike in front, but it's obviously that the effort that he's putting in the harder parts of the track, he's losing so much in the other parts, and there he is slipping back to what's become now a distant 3rd, and Adam Chambers. Now, how good would it be? We already know in Superbikes, we've had 3 brand new winners in Superbike racing this year, in James Smith, Scott Moyer, and now Jaden Hassan joining that elite group, but here in the 600s, of course, we've had Al Hugenboozem, who's got a 600 win, and how good would this be for Adam Chambers as well to come up? So hope those Wolfpack Racing supporters are out and doing their big cheer at the moment, and I can see Jamie here, he's the front one in the row down here at the moment. He's got his board up, the pit board there, and Adam just sticing with the moment. I've got to say, I think that John Ross always finds himself a little bit out of sort here at Manfield, but as we know, he did all the good work in the South Island. It's just a big capital C for consistency from him at the moment.
Chambers gone through, outbraked John Ross there at the end of the front straight. So Adam Chambers has gone through, and this is absolutely outstanding because most of the way through he hasn't even managed a podium in the New Zealand Superbike Championships, and that's the Wolfpack man out there in the front. And he's a very mature rider, and he will not let this get to his head. You know, right now it's very hard to lead out in the front, but and as I say that, he's almost making a bit of a break, and the gap is extending between him and second place. So right now on the track we've got John Ross, Adam Chambers, Toby Summers, Alistair Hugenbosom, Jaden Carrick, Jeremy Holmes, James Hugenbosom, Reese Holmes, although Reese will be further down because he would have had a 20-second penalty there for the jump start. David Manuel, Dan Metum not riding the Honda this weekend, blew that up, so he's on his own GSXR 600. Nathan Diprose, Cameron Hudson still on the track there after a crash yesterday. Mark Bennett's in 13th spot, but he had a 20-second penalty. Rex Mincher, Dylan Jeffries on the L-Foils number 16 machine, followed by Mike McDonald and Andrew Evans. So that's the action here at Manfield.
And one of those riders, of course, that's parked their bike down at Toyota, and we can see some of those that have not done all of the laps. It's presumably one of those last three names, because all of those are out of contention at the moment, I think, Spider. So one of those parked up on Toyota. And the racing going on here.
Third and fourth, James Hugenbosom at the end of the front straight took over and above Toby Summers. Now this is the battle for the second place in the championship. They were 5 points apart, with Hugenbosom leading before they go into the race. And this is almost a mirror image of the last weekend races, where Al Hugenbosom was sometimes in 7th and 8th place behind sometimes brother James, and he's come from way back there and he's fighting at it. 3 laps to go. There's still a bit of about 120 metres between him and second place, but he's dispatched Toby Summers. Toby Summers having a lacklustre weekend so far, but we don't want to give him the commentator's curse. Still another 3 Supersport races after this weekend, but certainly Al Hugenbosom now has in his sights that Repsol Suzuki GSXR WIL Sports Management sponsored machine of John Ross, and ahead of him is Adam Chambers. Mate, I bet the Wolfpack team will be fizzing at the bung when he wins this race.
Yeah, certainly hope he can do from here. This is great. Nice to see another underdog performance. And here you go, 3 of those top 4 riders have had their wheel in front at some point during this race. So that's the excitement of what we've got in this Super Sport class, and great to witness and be part of it. So the only man of that top 4 that's not yet been in the lead of the race is Al Hugenbosom, and we said before, was he too far back? Scott Kinder didn't rule him out, and here you've got the chance to do it, although it will be late in the race. First of all, he's got to catch him, then he's got to overtake him, and we know how hard that is, but he proved he could do it in 2 races for a great effort at Taupo last weekend. Can he do it again here today, will be the question. Toby Summers just drifting off the pace that little bit more, but as I say that, look at that from Adam Chambers, just opens out another 2 bike length advantage, looking good going into Higgins. Remembering Higgins, we built Manfield, proud to be Manawatu's #1 infrastructure firm, and behind this spectacular paradise, and certainly the locals know it, but already we can see that it has been a very, very dry summer. And here we go with the John Ross fight back, looking incredible as he comes down. So there you go, folks. We did have Honda, Suzuki and Yamaha. We've now got 2 Suzukis in there at the moment, but it's a Honda in front, and the white flag going out. The white flag is out. Here we are at the end of this climatic opening race for Supersport. We're down to the wire as we go into Toyota for this, the final lap. And there's John Ross. He's got the inside, but no, but it won't be his. It will be Adam Chambers. Where's the Wolfpack? Jamie's getting excited down here, and so he should be. The Total Oils team looking very sharp at the moment as we come up here towards the corner. They long called Splash. What a great run through here, Spider. Can Adam Chambers hold it?
Well, it's also the question is whether our Hugenbosom's got something, because he's now dropped into the 7s to 107.984, which is just 0.1 off the lap record. So our Hugenbosom's coming on the strongest at the moment, but right now Adam Chambers, I tell you what, there was probably a 30 to 40 metre gap between these 2 guys as they come out of Higgins in the last lap, but somehow John Ross just reeled him in. There was only 1 bike length in there. He closes up under braking, going into Higgins. This is the battle for the first, the podium position, and definitely action aplenty, but Toby Summers is still in a lonely 4th there, but right down the back straight, the Repsol Suzuki's got the speed here. There's a bike length in it, there's nothing, and it's all down to the braking to the last corner, and it is Adam Chambers who just break that smidgen later, so it was only half a bike length later. Don't want to jinx him at the moment. The checkered flag awaits whoever's going to do this. Wolfpack Racing, mate, this is your first New Zealand Superbike Championship win in the 600. Adam Chambers, you legend. John Ross, legend. And Al Hugenbosom, the fastest man on the track. There goes Toby Summers there for a 4th place. Neil Ritchie's off down to interview these people in pit lane. Jaden Carrick, the Whanganui man, on 55 and 5th. Jeremy Holmes, James Hugenbosom. Reese Holmes goes through on the track in 8th place, but I suspect that's going to be changing because he got